Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. I guess we can call this pretty crazy news because it's not really normal, and I guess it never really was normal for a long time. Also in news I missed, as I can't cover everything over the course of a day, there's always like 9,000 things happening within the cryptocurrency space. MicroStrategy is a company that gained popularity. Why did I say it that way? They're definitely popular. Gained popularity a number of years ago, basically for announcing that they were into Bitcoin. We had a couple of other companies at the exact same time. We had some in Switzerland who said that they were going to get into the space. There was that one weird TV show documentary kind of thing on YouTube that followed this guy who apparently was poor, and then eventually he got money, and then he used that money to buy Bitcoin early when it was $1, and then he made some mega conglomerate company. And anyway, in Switzerland as well. Sure, why not? So MicroStrategy got into the space by basically announcing that they liked Bitcoin, they thought it was interesting, and that they would be potentially acquiring some. And then that transformed into them buying, I think, a couple thousand, 3,000 or 4,000, and that was a big deal. It's not that it's not a big deal, but the issue is that a lot of times now people pretend that this news is relatively blasé or simply isn't something to be celebrated, as you're going to see as well. There's also ties directly into the idea that I have that we should be much further up in price. I know we're in Q4. I know everyone's talking about Bitcoin's price is going to 100K plus and all these other numbers, but we should have been there a very long time ago. It's nearly mathematically impossible for us to not be there already, with all the ETFs accumulating all the Bitcoin and all these companies buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin and retail investors selling off their Bitcoin on cryptocurrency exchanges, and then subsequently whales also buying massive amounts as well, lowering the supply of Bitcoin that's available to billions of people. But it is what it is. So MicroStrategy continued their buying spree over the course of multiple years. They were quite famed, if you will, for having purchased large amounts of Bitcoin over the course of a 2-year period. The last time that we heard, I think they had 160,000 Bitcoin, and that's when they were around the same exact level as BlackRock, who earlier this year had crossed over, I think, 120,000, 130,000 Bitcoin that they had within the actual ETF. And since then, they're BlackRock. Once again, you can't really, I don't know many or any people who could. BlackRock is worth, and they're holding $11 trillion worth of assets. So, it's going to be kind of difficult to get there, or never, because it's in the trillions of dollars. And then MicroStrategy purchased another 15,000, and then they got around 190,000, and they kind of stood there for a while. We're seeing a hyper acceleration of the amount of Bitcoin that MicroStrategy is buying. They mentioned before that they would love to ideally own 1 million Bitcoin. I have my own ideas. I mentioned it on the other channel, The Modern Investor. And I know that everyone doesn't or won't follow the same exact mindset that I have. It's more of I'll tell you, Bitcoin is for the people. Bitcoin is not for the companies. I understand that the companies have the money to buy the Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is for 8 billion people. That was the reason why it was created. Rich people have basically realized or figured out that they can make dynastic levels of wealth, and I think we're well beyond that. If you ever get a chance, side note, to look at Roman Empire wealth equivalents and or any other dynasty for today's terms, many of these dynasties and empires, rich families at that time, had roughly the equivalent of $10 to $20 million. So when you talk about that we have people who are billionaires now, we are way beyond any kind of conception we are living in the richest time and period. But that money's also in the hands of very few. Once again, different mindset over here. So while I understand that, companies are going to buy up, I would also still love if the masses took part in that wealth creation as well. The next time that we heard from MicroStrategy was sometime, I want to say near middle of summer this year. They said that they were going to purchase, or they were trying to, what they do is they issue debt against the company. And this time the debt was like $500 million. I know it was like B, with a B, is $500 million. And they were going to use that money to buy more Bitcoin. At some point that went up to like $700 million. And that was like a whole big hubbub as well, because who's trying to raise $700 million in debt against your company to be able to buy Bitcoin? Just MicroStrategy. So recently they announced that they were also trying to buy against the company another $500 million. These numbers are ridiculous. $500 million in debt against the company. And they actually ended up raising a 1.1 billion US dollars. MicroStrategy, led by Michael Saylor, just completed a $1 billion private offering, and they recently acquired another 7,420 Bitcoin worth $458 million at an average price of $61,750 per coin. The company is now holding 252,220 Bitcoin, purchased for roughly 9.9 billion US dollars per coin, or at an average price of $39,000 per coin. A lot of people always make sure to note how much money that they've made, how much higher the price is compared to when they bought, how much more expensive the company is now compared to where it previously was. The company and many other companies, this isn't just them, but they've done exceptionally well for themselves as far as their stock price. Historically, any company who has announced in the cryptocurrency space that they're going to be buying Bitcoin and then they buy it, their stock tends to rise. I don't know if they have it in this article. I think their stock has gone up. What is this? Is this a video playing? That's a weird website. I think their stock has gone up 23x. I think the number's 23x since they started buying Bitcoin, which is just completely insane. And then someone wrote on Twitter, Michael, leave some for the rest of us. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, this has been a very long journey for MicroStrategy, and also me talking about MicroStrategy, just because I've been doing these channels and screaming at the top of my lungs for a number of years, trying to make other people realize exactly what's going on without getting too far into it. Something weird is happening with the world's economy. I'm sure you've noticed. I'm sure you've maybe hopefully been paying attention to everything that's been going on. Rich people are shifting their money, and they're shifting it into cryptocurrencies, and they have been doing so for a while. And I think we're coming upon like the great switch, the wealth transfer that's always like in the news and stuff like that. And I've been saying for a while, I think the wealth transfer is actually like normal people in the cryptocurrency space selling off their coins and basically rich people buying it up. Because as of right now, rich people are holding 9/10 plus of all the Bitcoin that's actually out there. And I feel like that number is actually a little bit higher. We heard the 91% thing before, and I have a weird feeling it's actually like 94, 95% because some of the smaller wallets that don't get even counted into the metric that may only have anywhere from 1 to 10 Bitcoin probably belong to some of these people as well. So they're buying up all the Bitcoin for a reason. I've been saying it for a number of years. It's like it's not vindication, like, yeah, I'm correct, but it's more like I told you this was going to happen. Bitcoin was at $16,000 and I was like, something is up. And the Bitcoin gets the ETFs, goes to $74,000. And we keep hearing this news of like whale accumulation all the time. But then a lot of people don't end up paying really close attention, especially if prices aren't going up. But that's also going to be kind of the loop that we're going to be kind of stuck in for a very long time until Bitcoin goes over $1 million. And the people realize that they should have been buying a long time ago. But I can't really do anything about that. All I can do is kind of like try and help people as best as I can to, because something weird is taking place. Don't forget, countries are buying Bitcoin. They're also mining Bitcoin all the time. And, we need to get more people to start paying attention to that because the rich already own everything. And now they're trying to own like this is a brand new asset class. And they figured out how to also own all of that as well. I know, it's really crazy. Yeah, I hope that you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. The world is crazier and crazier every single day. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.